It's like 7 o'clock here and I just slept for like 2 hours. So I still look somewhat sleepy, but I'll be making the video for this week. And the topic was chosen by our drummer, and it is how to cope when you are alone. So if you do not have the option of maybe like going downstairs and talking to somebody that's there for you, or maybe you can't call someone, or basically all by yourself. And what I thought is that this is quite similar to the topic we talked about before, like the positive coping strategies, just that this time like all of the strategies are not possible that involve somebody else basically. So I thought, again, 4 steps in a way, but the number one most important thing is to like not dramatize and not feel like your whole recovery is at stake at all times, because especially those moments when you're alone, and maybe also if something stressful happened and you're in a really vulnerable state basically, are moments when probably lapses will happen, and that's perfectly okay. Like, it's not just because something happens once it has to happen again, and it's also not that you failed even at recovery. Like, you feel like you fail at having an eating disorder because you start recovery, and then you feel like you failed recovery because you still show symptoms of an eating disorder. Like, that's not at all true. It's basically like a trial. It's like the super hard challenge. So it might be relatively easy to have a more or less normal eating behavior and to feel quite safe and comfortable with food after a while if you're maybe under supervision, or you have like the controlled portion sizes and you know basically what you're eating is more or less healthy. But then you get really insecure when you're alone and you're not sure what to do. And so number one, don't dramatize. It's never your whole way at stake or your whole idea at stake. It's just this one moment. Take it as a challenge. You're alone. You can do this, and you can do it just for yourself. There's nobody watching you. So now there's a chance to prove to yourself that you have what you have learned, or maybe to see that you're not ready to apply it yet, or maybe you're not able to and you need some more help or some more support, and that's perfectly fine. And number two, again, realize you are in control of your mind. Like, the ED might tell you that you're not, but actually you can go in the kitchen, into the kitchen, realize that it's just a kitchen, there's just food, and all of the things that terrify you are just in your mind, and basically it's your ED thoughts, it's not you. So you are in control of that, and if you really want it to stop, basically you can tell it to shut up. Maybe it won't stop right away, but if you keep telling it, it will eventually. Then step number 3 would be basically analyzing the thought that you just had. So let's take an example. If you were at home, and I'm just gonna tell you, I don't know, maybe you are about to have a meal, or you should be having a meal, and you are not entirely sure, you don't feel like eating it, and you're not sure whether to eat it, or if you start eating it, you're afraid you might binge. Realizing that the thought, there's no in between, is also a disordered thought. Like, that's not true. You can just go downstairs, and if you don't feel like eating whatsoever, maybe you just have a little bit maybe you just have a piece of fruit, so that you don't go entirely hungry, and it kind of takes the thinking out of it. Just go downstairs, grab a piece of fruit, go somewhere else, and eat it. And you might be fine with it. Like, for me personally, fruit are like a safe thing. So for me, that's manageable at most times. Like, this piece of fruit is okay. And on the other hand, if I'm afraid I might be binging, realizing that's an AD thought. Like, I can perfectly eat. I don't have to binge and then purge it off just because I eat. I also don't have to purge because I eat. That's perfectly not true. I can just have a meal and eat it. And I don't have to listen to my eating disorder whatsoever. And then step number 4 is to basically, choose an alternative behavior. So what I just said, for me, often that's eating a piece of fruit, especially because the fruit basket is not in the kitchen. So for me, the kitchen in itself is really stressful. So there's a lot of memories attached to it, so I try to avoid it. I have the fruit in the living room, so I can just go there and take something and eat it, and that's way less stressful. And then maybe later, if I feel better, or whatever, then I can eat something else. Again, all of the coping strategies that we talked about before can be applied here. So maybe grab a pet. I love my cat for that because it keeps my hands off the fridge in a way, and just shows me my cat just eats when it's hungry and stops when it's full. It's like the most amazing thing, and I just keep watching it and I think, okay, you can do this. If your cat can do it and it like runs against doors all the time, then you should be able to do that. So, try. And also, for example, doing work, especially when you're alone, probably homework, housework, work, everything is fine if it has a clearly defined task and it keeps your thoughts off the ID, and you cannot fall into these raging thoughts and cycles and basically vicious cycles in your head that keep turning and you don't get anywhere and you get crazy. Also, writing about it or having like a logbook. Like, sometimes I put notes in my phone and I just write down my thoughts in like a few sentences. And sometimes it's really awesome because I have those notes. Some of them are negative, and actually now I can read them and realize that they're really, like, I can write them down and I see that they're totally not logical whatsoever. And also, good thoughts I can write down and I can read them later and I can be proud of myself. Like, it's really encouraging to read. For example, sometimes I put down a note, and it's like right now I'm eating a pizza with my friend and I haven't thought about how to get rid of it once. So that's, it makes me really happy, and after that I can look back at the day, on the day, and realize that day I did do it and I did manage it. So if my family's having pizza today, I did it before, I can do it again. It's okay, it will be fine. And so yeah, writing about it, having like a logbook type of thing. And then also power of thoughts. If you just imagine yourself and have this vision of yourself, how you will be when you will be, I don't want to say healed because it's not true, but when you have been in recovery successfully for quite a while. So imagine the moment when you maybe throw away triggering things, or the moment when you walk past the mirror and you actually know what you see in it is how you really look like, and there is like no body dysmorphia in any way. And imagining yourself how you will just be and how happy you'll be and your smile, and when you are able to say basically, yes, I had an eating disorder, but I recovered, I'm okay, I recovered. Like, that's, having a mental image of that is really strong. So just realizing you're always working towards that, and that is what you strive for. So this one little instance now is not, there is still a million to come. So just, make a better decision today than you maybe did yesterday, or if it was a good one yesterday, just keep doing it. And if it doesn't work, that's okay, but keep trying every single day, and over time it will get easier, definitely. So yeah, in general, every other coping strategy. Also, especially, for example, after eating when you're alone, it might be way more tempting to like use laxatives or purge or whatever. But telling yourself you need that food and it's okay that you have eaten it, and your body will use it for your own benefit and not against you, and it will not make you fatter. It will just give you the nutrients that you need to function, and this food enables you to get up next morning, and this food enables you to have a thought, and this food enables you to, I don't know, just be a person and live a life. And if you don't have it, that things start to fall apart. So it's not bad. Just to relieve that anxiety right after eating, you can, for example, go for a walk or do anything that distracts you. But I wouldn't recommend being alone, basically dwelling on the fact that you just ate a meal because that you don't know or sometimes you can't really control which side is going to win, and sometimes the eating disorder will be stronger, and if it's stronger every day, then you're relapsing. So just avoid that situation. Yeah, and the question of the week was like the happiest moment we had, and I just didn't even really think about it because I figured I had a lot of happy moments in my life. Like, I literally had a lot of them, and I always thought that I also had a lot of unhappy moments, but that's not even actually true. Like, even my unhappy moments were comparably not so unhappy. So I recall so many beautiful moments. It's just like, I know, for example, once I came into my school or into my classroom, it was like grade 6, and I was just crying so bad because he had a fight at home with my stepdad, and I was just so upset. And I know that my whole class, like literally 10 people, came up to me and cared about me, or they were like, "Why are you crying, honey?" And, "Oh my gosh, can we help you? Can we do anything?" And so I had all those people listening to me and caring about me, and then my teacher came in and she called me out and she helped me, and she was like the most, I don't know, she had like the greatest heart in the world. And she called my mom, so my mom picked me up, and we just kept talking. And I don't know, I just recalled a few days ago something. Or I think, for example, the first or the second time when I went to New York, and at that time I was totally addicted to McDonald's mango pineapple smoothies. Like, totally addicted. I was drinking a lot of them. It was like, well, it's fruit, so it was safe. And yeah, it doesn't make sense, I know. But I drank a lot of them. So I was just sitting in Bryant Park in New York, and the sun was just setting between the skyscrapers, and it was mirroring there, and you could see like the library, which is beautiful, and the park, and all those people. And I was sitting there drinking my smoothie, and I was just like, this is perfect. Like, there's literally nothing that you would have to change in this moment. Or also seeing my first sunset in Canada, where I went out with my host mom, and I loved her to death. And then we were standing there, like, right on the coast, so I was standing kind of on a cliff, and there was just ocean in front of me, and sky above me, and like a little bit of forest behind me, but that was the only thing. And the sun kind of set like on the horizon. Yeah, it kind of went down, and it was just, the whole sky was lit up. It was so beautiful. Yeah, I have a lot of those moments, I have to say. I actually had a really, really beautiful life, which makes me feel really ungrateful having this, but, and ranting about it on the other hand. Yeah, whatever. Lots of love to all of you guys, and yeah, Frontier is in Timberline Knolls right now, so oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm so excited for her. It's really bad, like, really. And yeah, see you next week, guys.